I'm not mean. You keep calling the dogs, and they want to go to sleep, and I want them to go to sleep. Because
Harper's just looking at us.
if they don't go to sleep, they're going to be loud in the podcast, and no one's going to listen, but everyone's going to hate us. And we'll be the worst.
Oh, it's going.
Yeah, we're live.
Are you ready yet?
I guess we can talk louder. Do you hear him whining? That's because you called him. No! Oh, gosh.
My baby wants me. No kissies. It's a good boy.
Get him down. Let's get this going. I'm ready to talk about money. Do you want him to do the podcast with you?
Yes.
Not me?
No, I want you both.
Let's put him down.
Oh, he's tired. He just wants to lay here and be good boy.
If he goes to sleep, he can sit. Nah, get away from the microphone. Get away from the microphone.
Lay down.
Oh, this
Don't
is the
lick my
longest
notebook.
intro of all time.
No, not longer than that Tony Robbins intro.
The Tony Robbins.
Remember, I was like, we should listen to this podcast.
Oh
And
my
then-
gosh. That was like 20 minutes. Quit eating the freaking salad. You're not a vegetarian.
All right.
And eat the cord. Okay, so we're going to put Cooper on the ground now.
He's laying down.
Come on.
He's laying down.
Nope, not anymore, see?
Because you made him get up. Look at his floppy paws. Daddy doesn't love us.
Gosh, he's got the biggest belly. He looks like he's pregnant.
Okay, you touched the lip gloss.
Because he laps up 8 gallons of water a day.
Are you ready?
Are you ready? Are you kidding?
Are you kidding?
Okay. 2 minutes and 15 seconds into it. We're ready to get this going. No, you're not coming up here.
Poor baby.
Yeah, poor me.
Okay, everybody. Welcome to the BK Lounge.
Fuzzies is not a sponsor, but if Fuzzies is watching this by some extraordinary circumstance, we love your tacos. Sponsor our podcast.
We seriously ate there like 3 times in one day once
When we went to Arizona, oh my gosh, I was so happy. That was one of the better days in my life.
Yeah.
That was a great day.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, today we're talking about money.
Financials.
Yeah, and money can be a bit of a touchy subject, but I'm very proud of, where we've gotten with money and kind of how we've communicated. And, we can always bring up money to each other. And
Yes,
I'm
we
very
can.
proud of that.
Cooper, no.
Cooper, quit chewing on the cord. That's a no-no. Yeah, if you hear a little... You probably got zapped.
All right, well, I will start by giving a little bit of a backstory on where I am at financially right now. I'll go into greater detail about everything else with my dad.
We'll probably have an entire podcast about that whole story and, the aftermath of where we're at now and what caused that and all that, so.
Yes, okay, but I'm going to go ahead and get started. So, I don't know if I've mentioned this yet or not. I have mentioned that
Harper,
my dad
come here.
died,
Come here.
but I have not mentioned that he was an alcoholic. I don't think, at least. So when I was really, really young, I think within the first year or so I was born, my mom got really sick and developed asthma and anaphylactic shock to aspirin. And it just really stressed my dad out. And his job in their marriage was to take care of the bills,
Right.
every month. We're pretty equal with what we do, so I can't.
We kind of we take care of everything together.
Yeah.
There's not
Hey.
one or the other.
Hey, stop it.
This is why we need those Kongs filled with frozen peanut butter. They are literally, there's that video that says how these Kongs solve 90% of problems with puppies.
Holding him works well too.
You keep going. I'm going to see if I can get them a treat to chill
Okay,
out.
so it just really stressed my dad out to have a new baby, and he was working really hard. He was still in school getting his teaching degree, and my mom was really sick, and so that was just really hard and stressful for him, and he never wanted to be, in air quotes, a bad husband when, in terms of my mom, when she would say, hey, we need to start thinking about getting a new refrigerator. I'm still working on those, by the way.
What'd you say?
I said, and I was about to just say it again. So he never wanted to tell my mom no when she would say things like, could we afford to take Mackenzie to Disneyland? Just those kind of things. I think it was a pride thing, and I don't know why he associated that with being a bad husband or a bad dad, but for whatever reason he did. And then, so he would get behind on the bills, which would stress him out even more, which would...
Can I stop you real quick?
Sure.
The first thing we have to do is show off our shirts.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't even show them off. They say fiance.
Fiance.
Yep.
These are shout out to my bestie, April.
I can't believe we didn't even talk about that.
We love you. We don't always match, but when we get a stellar gift like this,
Oh,
we
yeah.
do.
We rock them.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Sorry, keep going.
That's okay. So he would get stressed out about being behind on bills, which would just make him drink, which would get him even more behind on bills, which would just stress him out. Just an evil, vicious cycle,
right.
just hard. And so a lot of interest accrued on their student loans, their mortgage. I mean, just things like that. My mom would go downtown or go to a doctor's office and they would be like, Penny, when are you going to pay this? And my poor mom, she would be like, Larry told me he did.
Yeah.
So I'm not pointing out anybody's a bad person or anything in this. I'm just simply stating the facts of what happened, which they're sad, but it's okay. We're fine.
We got to where we're at now.
Yeah,
Wouldn't change
exactly.
anything.
So, when my dad died, even though they got divorced when I was in 6th grade, when he died, if my mom's name was on anything, so even after they got divorced and they decided, like, my dad would pay the second mortgage and my mom would pay the first mortgage and he would pay the income taxes, legally through court, that's how that worked. But when he died, my mom's name was still on it, so it defaulted to her, which, my mom, she works so hard, and she had a lot of medical bills from being sick. I remember one summer when I broke my ankle. That year she had coached 3 different seasons of sports. She did, and then that summer she taught summer school. The dollar store had just opened in Cody, so she worked for a couple weeks stocking those shelves. She did,
She's done respite for a long time.
Yeah, she does respite care. She has been a waitress at several different restaurants in town. She picks up jobs. She does a lot of work with a lady that is one of her really good friends now, popping kettle corn.
Mm-hmm.
My mom's
lemonade. She's
doing
done
lemonade. Yeah, my mom's never not had at least 2 to 3 jobs, and
probably more. Cooper.
Yeah, she just worked so hard, and she could only work so much, and I think she already was working. I'm not complaining oh, my mom missed out on anything, because I've never thought that once in my life. She was always there for the important things, like my swim meets and everything like that, but she did work a lot, and that's just something that I was always used to. And I mean, even when my parents were married, I remember they both worked at the river trips in the summer,
right,
and they both worked at La Comida in the summer, so just those kind of things. But after my dad stopped teaching, he kind of could only really keep one job at a time, and he was just doing the best he could. And so he didn't have a whole lot of money to be helping with his bills anyway, so he didn't really get a lot of them paid down. But he did contribute as much as he could. Mm-hmm. It just, unfortunately, wasn't enough. But, so I also was a pretty big hypochondriac when I was really young,
right,
very dramatic.
You? Dramatic?
Stop. Oh, one quick thing. Did you see that today on an Instagram account with 1 million followers, April's video?
Seriously, that was so funny. Well,
1 million followers.
I saw her story, and then I saw the account it was on, so I looked at that account, and I was like, 1 million followers?
Yes. So
Over 130-some thousand people viewed that video?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, so another shout out to her.
Yeah, that was funny.
Maybe that's why we're wearing these shirts. We're celebrating her.
Yeah, celebrating her
I
success.
just thought about it. If
Yeah,
you get
that
a
was
chance,
great.
you have to go check it out. The Instagram account is just @chicks.
Yeah, and I think it's the second most recent video.
Yeah, it's a blonde girl in a leather jacket, Stone Cold Steve Allen, RKO.
It's not Steve Austin?
I don't know.
I always say it wrong and I confuse us. Steve Austin. I think it's Steve Austin. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I have no idea. All I know
we're
is
gonna
it's
sound dumb.
it's for sure an RKO.
Yeah, it's an RKO, whether it's Steve Allen, Steve Austin, Steve Jobs, who knows.
I have to give a background. You guys have to go listen to this video. She was on like a date. She went with this guy she's seeing, and in the video you can hear him saying no as she's running
That's
up.
what I would say too. That's hilarious.
Oh, I love it so much.
Golly.
Anyways, so I was really dramatic when I'm still dramatic. I'm working on it. But I think there's a lot of psychological things behind it, but when I was young, I did take all of my stress out. I've always been a worrier. I've always been stressed out, anxious. I think that was just natural. That had nothing to do with my dad being an alcoholic or my parents getting divorced or my mom having cancer. None of that. So a lot of my stress would go through my tummy, and I would always have really bad tummy aches. And
still to this day, it does.
Yeah, so I think a lot of the times I didn't feel good, but it was stress and anxiety, and I just didn't understand or know how to say that. But anyways, so we took a lot of visits to the doctor, and so those added up. And just piled even more medical debt on my sweet, sweet mother. Mm-hmm. And it was a weird age. It was 19 or 20. It wasn't 18, like I'm an adult now, or 21, I can drink now. But 19 or 20, any medical that was in my name, or that was from me, went into my name. And so my credit score just
plummeted.
Mm-hmm.
How low did it get? Do you remember?
Like low 500s.
Really?
Yeah.
Careful near the mic.
Oh, sorry, you're right. So some debt collectors and things like that were really awesome. They would check and see when the year was, and they were like, oh my gosh, you were so young when this happened. This, we're going to knock off all this interest. Mm-hmm. And so I was able to get a lot of that paid off. Thank goodness.
All of it.
Yeah, all of it.
We don't have any more medical debt.
Mm-hmm.
Except for, I think I have like a $12 copay. You have like a $35 copay that we have to send, but not really debt.
No, not at all. Yeah. Not with like a debt collector or anything.
Exactly.
So that all really turned around. And before I met Bryce, I knew we kind of still have a different view on money. I think that, life is too short, and I don't want to go into more debt, but I think that
she doesn't want to go into like the full Dave Ramsey debt snowball, as in like not like kind of eating beans and rice and just paying off as much debt as fast as possible and not really living, which there are some respects I agree with that. I think you always have to set aside money to live, but I'm kind of to the point where I don't really want to take like vacations and do big things like that until we're debt free.
But if I need a pair of pants to go to a job interview,
absolutely. Like
we're going to get them, or
right.
And I still get my hair done every couple of months. Like, things like that.
Personal care, even if it's not necessarily a necessity, it's still important. And buying new clothes, and if you need new shoes, things like that, definitely still important.
Just willy-nilly.
We haven't spent money. We spent...
The last thing we spent money on was in
Billings, right after Christmas.
Yeah, but that's because
I bought that godforsaken jersey I should have never bought.
You deserved it. Ugh. You don't buy yourself much anymore.
It was like $110.
You deserved it.
Anyway, but we've been really good about not spending money.
Yeah, but...
Our worst habit is eating out. But, I mean, we've cut that down to less than once a week.
Yeah, and it's really hard too, because this is something else we could do an entire podcast on. Food is one of my love languages. Right. It is through the times where my parents were getting divorced and we had no money. I mean, there would be times where I will never forget the power went off because we just couldn't afford to pay it. And my mom was really sad that it was night and it was dark. And I went and found an old flashlight. I tied a ribbon to it and I tacked it to the ceiling. And I was like, look, Mom, we can shower. And she was just so proud of me. I think that's when my creative side really started.
Crafty side.
Yeah, because I was like, oh my gosh. So just simple things like that. But one thing we always found, and I saying this out loud, is it's probably not a super healthy thing, but one thing that we always found comfort in was sharing a meal together.
Are you talking to us or you and your mom?
My mom and I.
Well, yeah, and that transferred to us,
that
too.
transferred to us. Like, especially when I would go through severe depression, we would always eat together. We would always have our meals together. Maybe not always lunch, but always dinner.
Every day.
And if there was, for some reason, we couldn't have dinner, if I was really in a bad place, I didn't know how to eat.
Right.
Like, I couldn't.
And that love language definitely transferred to me too, because I feel off when we don't share meals together.
Yeah, that is just one of the most intimate things to me that you can do with a person.
Especially cooking.
Yes, exactly. If I eat a meal with you, like if we go and get a meal, that's special to me. But if I invite you into my home and I cook you a meal, I don't have money to, buy my friends gifts a lot or pay for their dinners, but I can, go to the grocery store, and that's one of the ways that I love to express my love and appreciation for people is by either baking them something or cooking for them or, just something along those lines.
Well, because we want people, we want to share the comfort we feel from meals with other people.
Yeah.
And that's definitely one of our love languages.
And when I was really young, my mom and dad always had really awesome parties, so it's just ingrained in me that I love to host.
We love
Not even
hosting.
to throw parties. I guess
anyone.
The Super Bowl was kind of like a Super Bowl watch party.
Right.
But just having people over for like a group meal.
Even if it's just like Adam and Delta next door.
Yeah.
We just love to host.
I love to host and I love to cook.
Right.
And I think one of the reasons I love it so much is that I get to cook with you.
Mm-hmm.
Remember,
for sure.
I was in counseling and my therapist Joseph told me that if couples don't cook together, you can almost guarantee they always have like intimacy issues.
Right.
And I was like, well, that's never even crossed my mind because we do everything together.
Well,
we work together, we cook together.
We've been cooking together before we were even together at all.
Yeah.
Like when we were just friends, we cooked together.
Yeah.
So.
That's something that's always been. So long story short, that's something that I refuse to skimp on. No, we don't go buy shellfish or salmon.
Crab, Dutch crab or lobster.
We don't buy anything like that, but we like to have, chicken, like fresh chicken
vegetables and rice.
And that's something that I won't skimp out on.
No, we've been doing a lot of meal prepping lately, and we always make sure that we have enough food in the house.
Yeah.
We always make sure we have enough food for the dogs first.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if someone's gonna eat first, it's gonna be them.
100%. I mean, it's probably not great that food is that important to me because I do struggle.
Well, it's not necessarily food, though. It's sharing that experience.
Yeah, but I mean, I am trying to really change my thoughts about, yes, I crave cookies and cake and things like that.
Like we all do.
Yeah, but I'm trying to really teach myself, change my thought process to this is what my body actually wants. Like, this is what's actually going to fuel me.
Not just my brain.
Yeah, just like my soul.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think that's why I got so upset about the coconut milk.
Yeah. Oh, God, I don't even know if we want to get into it. We were at the grocery store, and it's never about the coconut milk. It's never about the thing. But Kenzie so we are really trying to save money hard, saving for the wedding, trying to pay off some debt, different things like that.
Wedding?
Yeah. But Kenzie wanted to buy coconut milk, and I said, Kenzie, coconut milk is really expensive. And she goes, well, it's only $1 more than regular milk. And I said, but it's a half gallon and not a full gallon. And we had a big fight and didn't talk for 5 hours. But it was never about the coconut milk.
Yeah. I just also really don't like being told what to do, even though...
Which is my specialty.
Even though I do
Well, yeah, I think we all want some structure.
Yeah.
Like when we're cleaning, I always go, Kenzie, I don't know where to start. I need you to tell me where to start.
Which is so funny. But I think, so I have a friend named Sky, and she's in Boston. She got a big girl job before we even graduated. So go her. She works for Boston Consulting. She's doing big girl things.
Yeah,
but
living in downtown Boston. And
one thing I think her and I always got along so well is she just knew how to direct me.
Right.
And you're really good at that too. Sometimes
it's not controlling you.
No,
it's
not
giving
at all.
you direction, saying, "Hey, we should do this."
I just need that sometimes.
Right. We all do at some points,
Yeah. You cleaning, me, everything else.
Do you have anything else to add with your story?
I mean, just before you, I knew that it wasn't good to have debt, but I also just kind of had the thought that, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't say I had like a shopping addiction or anything.
No, I mean just being a kid.
I've only ever had one credit card, and it was an Ulta credit card. And sometimes when I was like sad or upset or had a bad day, I'd order like a mascara.
Which is, I mean, I've done that too. Remember the story I told you when the Cavs were playing the Warriors? It was the year after they won, and I think it was like game 2 or 3. And they lost, and I was so mad. I just went to Walmart and bought a PS4. Spent like $400.
No, I would buy like 1 or 2 things. And I used that credit card to buy gifts a lot.
Right.
So if I had like a friend's birthday coming up, I would order them something from Ulta if I didn't have cash on hand, which I just should have not ordered. But that's another love language of mine is giving gifts.
I mean, I didn't even know about Dave Ramsey's saying is cash is king, debt is dumb, cash is king. I never really thought about that because my mom always kind of preached that you're either going to have a car payment or a gas payment, But when I started looking into Dave Ramsey, it was kind of, you want to get to the point where you have your income checks coming in and nowhere for them to go. You just have money coming in and you don't have any debt. At some point you want to not have a mortgage, things like that.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I think the biggest difference, and it's probably the way we grew up, is that, and this goes with different things too, not just money between you and I. I'm never worried about it.
Right.
Because you worry and you stress like we're not gonna. What if we don't make enough for this?
24/7, I'm always worried about it.
I've never really been worried about money. Like I'll get worried and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Which is very strange because you grew up never really having money, and I grew up very fortunate where we got a lot of the things we wanted, never had debt, anything like that.
I got things that I wanted.
Well, absolutely.
And stuff,
but like we never, I never saw my mom stress about money.
Oh, yeah. But see...
And you were kind of there firsthand.
Yeah. Like, I tried to help my mom as much as I could.
Exactly.
And I don't regret any of it.
Which is strange. You would think you would worry about money and I wouldn't.
Yeah, but I've never worried about it. At the end of the day, it's just money and we'll make it work. We're smart. We're capable.
Yeah, exactly.
I've literally never been.
Well, especially this day and age, like with this podcast, we want to make this, our full-time career.
But that's not the main reason we're doing it.
No, absolutely not. But like, this is our passion and we want to do this full-time.
Yeah.
And we want, I think there's a stigma around money, especially with content creators and influencers, that people get really upset if you talk about money and talk about how you make money with what you do. And I think that's kind of ridiculous because people should be happy for you that you have found a way to turn your passion into a career.
I actually just saved a quote about this. I have to read it because it's so pertinent. How do I...
But, I might know the quote you're going to pull up. If not, I have a different one. But, so the quote I know is, I can't remember who it's by, but the person says, find what you love to do and figure out how to make money doing it. And I think that's a huge motivator because so many people... What's your quote?
So...
Oh, I saw that today too.
There isn't like a I did not come up with this quote. PSA.
We don't know who did.
There's no
attribution.
Yeah.
Attribution.
But it is.
Attribution.
I don't know. I was gonna say author. I don't.
Yeah, we don't know who wrote it or who spoke it.
But it hit home today because one of my other really good friends, her boyfriend is about to get into the NFL, and I keep just looking at her.
Hopefully. We're, knock on wood, praying.
Yes. We hope to have him on the podcast too.
Yeah,
Marcus
definitely.
Epps. But I just look at her and I'm like, you turd, you're going to be an NFL wife. And I'm not jealous, but I think that's really cool.
Oh, it's awesome.
Who wouldn't want to be a professional athlete and or be with you know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, aside from the money, being able to go to the games, like, they're so fun.
Yeah, that experience, that lifestyle.
Exactly.
But this really grounded me today. It's stop being jealous of people in their winning season. You don't know what they lost in their losing season.
Right.
So again, like, I mean, goes back to the age-old, you can't judge a book by its cover, or, yeah. You get what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Hopefully
definitely.
you all get what I'm saying. But, yes, I loved that quote today.
Mm-hmm.
And it reminded me, nobody gets good things without struggle. And if they do have good things,
Cooper.
most of the times they probably
Cooper.
struggle later on. It all
Cooper.
is full circle. He's okay.
I
He's
know.
just sniffing.
Harper's going to take his bone, though. Cooper.
That's fine. He's going to get tired and lay down.
No, come get it. You about fell off the couch.
Floppy potato boy.
Anything else you want to add before I go on my rant?
I don't think so.
Okay. So I'm going to talk about a little, not really my backstory. I kind of touched on that in the introduction, but kind of where I'm at now. And you all should know this is my absolute favorite thing to talk about. And I love money, but I love it because I know its importance, and I know that, it's kind of the core of everything that you do.
Remember in one of our other podcasts where I talked about how I love to communicate and I love to talk?
She does not want to talk about
There
money.
have been many times where Bryce is like, you want to go over our budget? You want to talk about the blah, 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 blah? And I will literally say, I do not want to talk about this right now. And his little comeback is, well, we're always going to have to worry and think about money, so you might as well just get used to talking about it now.
I love to talk about money.
I never worried about it until I met you.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm a worrier too, but
I get I get your secondhand stress.
I know, for
That's
sure.
the only way I get stressed about money.
But
Sorry. Go ahead.
I'm obsessed with money because I'm obsessed with financial freedom. It has nothing to do with greed. Obviously I want to have nice things and have a nice things and have a nice house and different things like that. But it's about not worrying how we're going to pay for groceries this weekend and not, scrounging up money in the house to see if we have enough money to buy dog food, things like that.
Yeah.
It's always about financial freedom and not greed.
Yeah, which is totally fair.
It's just I want to get to a point where, I'm not checking my bank account 5 times a day. Making sure I have enough money for the next thing to come out.
Yeah, so what do you think about in Seven Rings when Ariana Grande says...
Is it Ariana or Ariana?
Or I don't know.
I always say Ariana.
Maybe it is.
Ariana
Now
Grande.
I sound dumb.
No,
What
you
is that?
don't. Because I don't know if that's
Number
right.
2 for this podcast? Where
No. I don't know if that's right, though. Anyway.
Whoever said money can't solve problems never had enough to solve them.
I mean, yeah. Think about the problems we have today. We want to move.
Can't afford it.
Can't afford it. We want to buy all brand new equipment for this, studio style podcast.
Can't afford it.
Can't afford it. You need a new computer. Can't afford it. You need a new car. Can't afford it.
Yeah, that's true.
If we, think about, we have all this debt. If we had enough money to pay it off, I mean, money solves a lot of problems. At the end of the day...
I think that you, though, this is us being different, you growing up with not having to worry about money at all. Wow.
But to get back on topic, so I would say all of my financial knowledge comes from A, my mom, and B, Dave Ramsey, or, independent research. Like I said, growing up, my mom we always got what we needed. A lot of the times we got what we wanted, but she always stressed the importance of valuing money and not taking it for granted and not being greedy. So right now, between Kenzie and I, we have about $40,000, just under $40,000 in debt between a new car,
School loans,
student loans, and 2 credit cards. So my biggest goal for, the near future is to be completely debt-free by the time we're married. And that's going to be early summer of 2020. That's my biggest goal right now. And then after that, Kenzie doesn't really agree with me on this, but I would like to pay 100% cash for a house. What's wrong?
I was just gonna let Harper sit in this chair.
But I want to pay 100% cash for a house because my thinking is I would rather rent for, 4 or 5 years after we get married and then pay 100% cash for a house. Look at his face. He was like staring at you with the bully stick hanging out of his mouth. I want to pay cash for a house because I would rather wait and save up the money and be able to just buy it than have a mortgage, have to pay interest on that mortgage. And, that's not set in stone. There's nothing to say we won't find the perfect house right after we're married and it'll just be financially smart to get a mortgage. But that's kind of where I'm at right now. Why don't you talk about kind of combining our finances and why it was very similar to moving in together?
It just made sense. I mean,
I don't even remember doing it.
I don't either. It started with, should we really say the banks?
Oh yeah, Wells Fargo sucks. They are the worst bank.
I got so many overdraft fees from them.
Oh gosh. I mean, granted, they were partially our fault, but they have such strict...
Some of them were not, though, at all. They are just sketchy.
Well, and there's so many...
And I'm pretty sure they love to take advantage of people.
Oh, yeah. I mean, big banks,
That's
corporate
why
greed.
When I went in to close my account, his mom literally went with me.
Yeah. But they have so many restrictions. There's so many things you have to follow when you open up an account. Like, you have to swipe your debit card X amount of times, or you have to have a standing balance of $2,500 in your checking account, which... What college kid has $2,500 in their checking account?
What college kid has 25 cents in their
Literally.
checking account?
So, yeah,
So I was at Wells Fargo, and I convinced him that he needed to be at Wells Fargo.
Well, a big reason I wanted to go to Wells Fargo, too, is because we want to move farther south, and I was at Blue Federal Credit Union, and there's Wells Fargo everywhere. And so that was a big reason I wanted to move there, is because I knew that wherever we moved, there would be a Wells Fargo there.
I mean, initially when I was growing up, I was at a credit union in Cody, but the thing was, this was back in my day.
Back in your day.
When I started college, there was no Venmo or Cash App.
No, I mean, there wasn't when I started college either. I think
my
until my
mom
sophomore
had to
year.
literally go into Wells Fargo to transfer me money.
Mine too.
So, I mean, that's another reason why I didn't have...
Well, you think about, like, the reason I wanted to move to Wells Fargo is because they're big. Cody, a city in Wyoming with only 10,000 people, even has a Wells Fargo.
Yeah.
They have a Wells Fargo ATM in the Albertsons there. I mean, Wells Fargo is everywhere. And so that was a big reason why I wanted to move there. But
And it was also... No, you got an account after all of their scandal and stuff. But then they recently just got caught again.
Oh, I can't remember exactly what it was about, but I remember that.
Charging extra interest or service fees, something like that.
Didn't it have to do with student loans too?
No, that was the newest one.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, so
Gotcha.
thank goodness I never got a student loan through them.
Yeah, but since then, Kenzie and I have both switched to Blue Federal, and I can't say I have any complaints since switching. Everyone seems very nice there, and we've, I think I've had one overdraft fee, but I literally just didn't have enough money in my account, so it was my fault. But we've had no issues, and they seem to be pretty popular. There's one in Cheyenne, there's one in Laramie. I know there's a good amount in Colorado.
Yeah,
so
Colorado.
I think there's Rado. Golly. You northerners don't know how to say it.
Whatever, dude.
But I think I would say, as much as I hate to say this, another big reason that we want to be financially free is because we have an expensive lifestyle. I mean, there's kind of no way around it.
There's no denying it. I like my luxury products. I like my brand names. And
Kenzie made me add this to the list. I'm going to read this verbatim from our list. It's the last point. It says, paper... Sounds like chewing on something. Paper towels for the pee-pee boy ain't cheap.
You put ain't cheap. I just said pee-pee boy.
Yeah, but by pee-pee boy, we mean our newest edition, Cooper. Homeboy drinks 8 gallons of water a day and pees them out all over our floor.
He drinks so much water.
Oh my gosh, he gets
he's there
bored.
For so long that he sits, but then he's there for even longer, so he will lay
He literally
down.
lays down while he's drinking water because he's been there for so long. And he just gets tired. And we're like, Cooper, stop.
Hey.
That's enough. It's ridiculous.
Come here, big pee-pee boy.
Golly. He's bringing a pee in your arms.
No.
He's peed on Kenzie's brand new comforter. Sorry, Penny. Like 2 or 3 times.
3 times. I cried the last time.
The last time he
and
peed on it,
again, it wasn't even about the comforter, really.
No, I mean, we were having a tough day that day, too.
I mean, it was the coconut milk day.
Oh, golly, it was, huh? The dang coconut.
I was just like...
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was, because that's what set me off. Initially, I cried, remember?
No, that wasn't it, because we didn't talk forever that night.
This is stupid. The bed's right
Paper towels ain't cheap for the pee-pee boy. That's the premise we're trying to make.
Speaking of, we need more Swiffer wipes and
Lysol wipes and cleaner and everything else we use to clean up his pee. God. What are you looking at, pee-pee boy?
Else. Harpy, you're being...
He's taking a couple dumps in here, too.
Stop it.
What? He has.
You guys, today Bryce asked if he could call me BM. I said no. And he goes, do you want to know why? I said no. He proceeds to tell me. What? I heard it from Kevin Hart.
It was on Kevin Hart did an interview with Baker Mayfield for the new episode of Cold as Balls on YouTube. Great series. I highly recommend watching the one with LeVar Ball. But he calls Baker Mayfield BM.
Because he's his bowel movement. Because he's the shit. Bryce goes, you don't... That's nice. I think you're the shit. And I was like, no, you're not calling me
I think
BM.
it's cute. I'm probably going to proceed to call her that.
He thinks it's cute.
It 100% is.
Oh,
we haven't talked
no.
about money in like 5 minutes, and that's what this podcast is about.
I told all of our followers and subscribers and our fans
We go to YouTube, all 7 of them.
that we would be real.
There's a difference between real and completely off topic.
I think we're funny and interesting.
Makes 2 of us in the world. We'll make 7 of us. 7 of us according
9
to
of us.
YouTube.
Aren't you subscribed?
Yeah, so 6 subscribers. And the other 6 are our... I want to be a professional podcaster and I talk like this. The rest of the 6 are our friends and or family.
You gotta start somewhere.
That's what Cooper says when he needs to pee. Gotta start somewhere.
We are gonna write down who our 6 original subscribers are, and if this takes
We're gonna go
off
on vacation to Bora Bora
with them.
with them. Our first... Well, I'll do it with our first 20 subscribers.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down.
We should do a giveaway soon.
I wanted to.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Gosh. People gotta hate us.
Hate us or love us is still an obsession.
Also, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm gonna do some research as to why the camera keeps stopping. I got brand new SD cards, which I thought was the problem because the other ones were overheating, and obviously that didn't do the trick. So I apologize for that, because I'm the YouTube guy, and I'm slacking.
Let's make this clear. So, how many total subscribers do we need to have in order, or what amount of money do we need to be making a year when we decide to take these 20
Oh gosh, I would say probably at least 200,000.
I was gonna say 1 million.
1 million? We're taking this whole equestrian community to Bora Bora if we're making 1 million a year.
When we hit 20,000, we're gonna do something nice for our first 20 subscribers. It might not be a vacation.
20,000.
200.
do
When
we even make 20,000 now?
Yes, we do.
Honestly.
I do.
Oh my gosh.
So do you. So do you. It's
No,
fine.
you don't make 20. I think we make a little over 20 together.
Anyway.
People don't like to talk about money. I'm very open about it.
Yeah. Let's
Oh my
talk
gosh.
about money all day.
I love it. It's the greatest thing.
Okay.
Talking about money.
When we reach 200,000 subscribers.
I misinterpreted what you were saying. I thought you meant how much, you literally said, I'm going to go back in the recording because I'm pretty sure you said how much money do we need to make in order.
I said, or subscribers total.
I thought you were talking money. I don't know how many subscribers. I have no idea. I've never gotten paid professionally. Well, I've never gotten officially paid on YouTube, so I have no idea, kind of the criteria.
No, we just look like scoundrels.
Scoundrels. Just a couple of scoundrels.
Well, I'm going to keep watch of our first 20 subscribers.
Yeah, we'll keep a list.
And if this picks
So,
up...
if you are new to the podcast on YouTube, please, it would make us very happy. Go right down below and subscribe.
Follow us on Instagram.
Yep, at Bryce_and_Kenzie.
Yeah.
Like our Facebook page, at Bryce and Kenzie.
Yes.
What else? Have we covered all of our bases?
I mean, your list is crossed off. My list is crossed off.
I think that's all we got for
I think
tonight.
it is.
The dogs are whining. They're ready to go out. My dogs are barking. I'm ready to go to bed.
Office reference.
Gosh,
Number 2.
I'm very sorry if we're a little lethargic today. We're both freaking exhausted from this little demon waking up every hour in
Last
the night.
night, normally he sleeps till 4.
Last night it was, I think I took him out around midnight. You went at 2, didn't you?
Yeah.
And then
You went at 3.
Yeah, and then we went at 6.
Yeah.
And then it was like 6, 7, 7:38, and then we were like, okay, this is
And
enough.
surprise, I had an upset tummy yesterday, so I didn't fall asleep till like 12:30.
And we've been hitting the gym hard, and I started reffing on Monday, and so we are sore.
And tired.
So tired.
But we are so happy and our life is good. We're not complaining at all.
Yeah.
We're just
I just saw we got a notification. The maximum recording time for segments is 60 minutes. Keep an eye on the clock.
Okay, well.
Don't tell us what to do, Anchor. Just kidding, Anchor. We love you.
Yeah.
You're our first sponsor. We love you.
Oh my goodness. All right, signing off.
All right, guys. We'll probably be recording a new podcast. We have a special guest. We're not going to reveal who, but we have a special guest coming either Thursday or Friday. So check out towards the end of the week or the weekend for that new episode. It'll be our first guest speaker and a very special one at that.
Yes.
I think you guys will really enjoy it. So.
All right.
Thanks for listening, and catch you guys soon.
Yeah. Have a good one.
Peace.